For our first news, former President Rodrigo Duterte has something to say regarding the possible cooperation between the Commission on Human Rights and the International Criminal Court in its insistence on interfering in the country to investigate his previous administration's war on drugs campaign. Yna Mortel has the details.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte shrugged off the statements of the Commission on Human Rights, or CHR, after saying that it was ready to cooperate with the International Criminal Court, or ICC, in the investigation to his war on drugs campaign. Chairperson Richard Palpalatok earlier said that the CHR would cooperate with the ICC as it is part of their mandate as a human rights institution and as an independent constitutional body not dependent on the directive of the President or the Executive Department. His words came amid ICC's insistence on their jurisdiction, although the Philippines had already withdrawn as a member of the Hague-based court back in 2019. And although President Bongbong Marcos said that the Philippines will no longer cooperate with the ICC, Palpalatok said that the CHR can still share the collected evidence with a foreign body. But former President Rodrigo Duterte already regarded Palpalatok's words as an old joke.
Old comedy, actually. Palpalatok could partner with anybody outside of the Philippine territory. I don't mind. Yung CHR, wala man nagawa. Walang napakulang yun na isa eh. Wala man sila nakita. Ano man nakita nila sa judicial. Yung na magkalaban yung away, tatapon nila sa atin. Marami kayong daldal. Kung magulo ang bayan sa mga kriminal.
The former president also stands by the decisions he made during his administration.
Yung man natin titigas ng ulo ninyo. Mabuti na lang 6 years lang ako na presidente. Totoo yan. Human rights, makinig kayo. Hindi ko malulusutin yan. I said once, I said it twice, and I will say it again. Do not destroy my country. Do not destroy our children. Because I will. Kung hindi mo ba naintindihan yan?
Duterte said he does not mind any doubts and untoward comments because all politicians and people in government are always being criticized.
I do not mind because people will always suspect. If you are in government and you stayed for a period ganon katagal. Nagsabit talaga yung mga buang. Wala, posible na hindi mo. Well, kung yan ang gusto mong isipin, go ahead. You have that luxury. What ako, tanong ang Diyos sa akin na, you are an upright. Well, God, not so much. I cannot say that I'm really upright and in the true sense of the word. Why? I have my, nagnakaw ka ba? Yan lang, hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko talaga ginawa yan.
Meanwhile, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy praised the former president for the legacy he left behind during his administration and for all his sacrifices to protect the country from illegal drugs, crime, and corruption.
You are the only president who don't have a house in Manila. And you came back and you're still subsisting in your pension. Tulad ng sinabi mo, you cannot travel a lot now because ipit na yung pamasahe. Masyadong mahal na. So, I think that is what God had saw in you, in your heart, na naging gift ka sa amin dito sa Pilipinas. And we will really cherish that. That's why hanggang ngayon, the Filipinos loves you. 93% pa rin yung survey ng popularity mo. And we are, this is one of a kind. This is once in a time, I think, that a public servant can be as incorruptible as you, being in that position from the down, from where you were here, tapos the God in heaven rose you up to that prominence. And we saw the 6 years you had. Yung lang, number one, yung build mo, your seriousness of fighting against drugs, na pati yung buhay mo, dinelikado mo na, pati yung mga opponents mo na inggit sa iyo, gusto ka pang tirahin sa ICC, human rights, gano'n. But you sacrificed all of that. Ang masasabi ko lang, yung sa Word of God, greater love hath no man than this, that a man will lay down his life for his friends. So, we thank you for this time.
For God and My Beloved Philippines, this has been Yna Mortel, SMA News.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte said the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President will bring tremendous contribution to protecting the youth among the terrorist New People's Army or NPA. Jason Rubrico files this report.
In his program Gikan sa Masa para sa Masa on SMNI, former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte answered the issue regarding the confidential funds requested by the Office of the Vice President and Department of Education. For President Duterte, the confidential funds will help curb the recruitment of the New People's Army or NPA among young people, especially students.
Kasi kung ako ang presidente, bigyan ko. Yung creeping sa mga komunista, sa mga estudyante, malaking bagay yan. Actually. And walang specific area dito sa intelligence community na nakatutok dyan sa estudyante. Yung pagpasok ng mga left or the Communist Party of the Philippines in recruiting students. Kita mo maraming mga bata. Ang masakit pa dito, the tragedy of it all is yung mga taga-UP na pumasok doon, mga valedictorians, karamihan dyan, salutatorians, valedictorians. Yun yung brilliant na mga bata, mga anak natin na kukuha. But para sa akin, makukuha ko, mabasa ko yung the purpose really is to stop the intrusion of the left into the student body. Diyan nakukuha yung mga leader. Kita mo yung mga leader nila, ang babata. Yun pa ang pinakamatindi. And tumatanda sila. Karamihan mga UP.
The former president explained that the confidential fund is vital in countering NPA recruitment in educational institutions, particularly in high schools and colleges.
Ibigay yan doon sa mga principal o superintendent or whatever, matitignan nila saan yung recruitment banda. You need special money for that. Yung budget ng Office of the President, nakalista lahat yan eh. Everything is accounted for. But the Office of the Vice President is not given the police power. But insofar as the interest of the young people is concerned, if it is really the purpose of the Vice President to stop or at least minimize yung palaging inuudyok yung mga anak natin sa left to dito. Hindi naman yan sa mga kindergarten eh. Hindi yan gagamitin sa kindergarten. Actually, high school pati college.
President Duterte added that the amount of confidential funds requested by OVP and DepEd is very small. And when he was asked how much he would request if he were the vice president, here's what he said.
At saka maliit yan, Pastor.
O, maliit masyado yan eh.
Ako, kung ako ang I'd ask for about 500 million. Ibigay ko yan sa mga ROTC program, mga PMT, yung sa high school. Bigay ko yan dyan sa mga supervisor, sa mga superintendents. Hindi mo yan, ilista mo yan. At pagkatapos, bigay mo doon sa COA. Then COA will examine, o dito, superintendent, gano'n, nabigyan ba yan? O, check. Tanggap mo ba? O, check. Prove ito. Si principal ng gano'n.
The former president further explained that there are guidelines for spending confidential funds.
Hindi naman yung confidential fund na you spend the money as if it is really your own. It's not that. There are always guidelines. There are instructions to be followed. Mababarak ka dyan pag liquidate mo tapos wala kang sabihin mo lang ginastos mo ng ganon. Notice of disallowance yan. Ibig sabihin, COA, Commission on Audit, would not find it a plausible reason or purpose of using public funds.
Vice President Sara Duterte first explained DepEd's need for a confidential fund, wherein she underscored that the education of the youth is also related to national security. According to the Vice President, part of the said fund will be used against illegal activities that target students, including sexual grooming and sexual abuse in schools, recruitment to terrorism, and abuse of illegal drugs. For God and my beloved Philippines, I am Jason Rubrico, SM9 News.